Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, June 6th, 2013. June 6th is D-Day. 69 years ago today, thousands of Allied soldiers landed on the coast in Normandy to mark the return of the Allies to Europe. It's about 10 a.m. Eastern time here. This is about 4 o'clock in France. So 69 years ago today, the Allies had in fact established a sliver of a beachhead in Normandy. Thousands of soldiers were killed in the landing. It's good to remember them today and their sacrifices. Meanwhile, in breaking news, the Bank of England has apparently appointed Nick Predejan, who's the current chairman of Brit Insurance, but more interestingly, the former CEO of Lloyd's. Mr. Predejan has been appointed to the board of the new UK regulatory body, the Prudential Regulation Authority. Predejan is going to resign from his position on the board of the UK life insurer Legal and General, and is going to take up his post with the regulatory body on the 10th of June. It's interesting because Predejan had been a past critic of the Financial Services Authority, which is the ancestor of the new UK regulatory authority, so that's interesting. We often talk about building collapses in the third world. Well, today, about 40 miles away from here, Philadelphia rescue officials are digging through a building that collapsed yesterday. 6 people, unfortunately, were killed. A building under demolition collapsed into a neighboring Salvation Army thrift store. 6 people were in the store. It's unclear what role the demolition work might have played, but the accident raised some questions. The scene was on Market Street, which is a very highly visible street in Philadelphia. A roofer, as well as window washers across the street, spotted an unbraced 30-section foot of wall and predicted among themselves that the whole building would simply fall down. This is as a result of the demolition that was going on yesterday. That's exactly what happened. The unstable shell of a building collapsed into a massive heap of bricks and splintered wood, taking the Salvation Army store with it. People in the east coast of the United States are getting ready. Tropical storm Andrea is beginning to make some moves. It's the first big storm of the season. It's going to only have winds of about 60 miles per hour. It's going to make landfall in Florida's Big Bend area this afternoon. It's going to be mainly a rainmaker event. It's going to be bringing 3 to 6 inches of rain in areas of southeastern Georgia, as well as up the American East Coast. Here in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, we're expecting a rainout on Friday and Saturday. Aon Benfield is reporting that reinsurers face about losses of $4 billion from natural catastrophes in the month of May. This is mainly as a result of those tornado bills that are going to be incurred in Oklahoma. That was that catastrophic EF5 tornado. In fact, there were 2 of them. One killed 24 people and more, and the other one 10 days later in El Reno killed 19 people. Meanwhile, in Central Europe, insurers are breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. It seems that they're not going to have to foot the bill for the cost of those devastating floods because many of the region's businesses and households are not covered by insurance. Nicholas von Baumhard, the CEO of Munich Re, the world's largest reinsurer, attributed underinsurance for flood risk in the worst affected areas to a legacy of insurers' past reluctance to offer insurance in those areas. He said this has changed, but insurers are now prepared to almost offer all risk, but underinsurance remains a problem. He said the macroeconomic loss is going to be much bigger than the insured loss. The opinion was seconded by Europe's biggest primary insurance company, Allianz, although they're not getting their numbers yet. Meanwhile, residents and emergency crews worked through the night last night to prevent the flooding of downtown Dresden. The German military and a national disaster team apparently have preserved the downtown area by setting up banks of sandbag levees. 16 people in total have now been killed as a result of the floods. The proposed sale of a syndicate at Lloyd's Sagicor to a European private equity company, ANCAP, has apparently broken down. This is after 2 months of exclusive talks. The Insurance Insider is reporting this. So now the Caribbean insurance group Sagicor Financial is expected to continue to try to sell itself. JLT, the broker, is being used as the sales runner. Now, Sagicor apparently has made at least 3 efforts to dispose of its underperforming Lloyd's business. Meanwhile, in Bermuda, the Premier, Craig Cannonier, has been summoned to London to a meeting with Prime Minister David Cameron. Cameron is pushing for more transparency to end what he calls the scourge of tax evasion. Cameron's in a little bit of a dicey spot. He's hosting the G8 summit in Northern Ireland later this month. He wants to try to have some resolution of this issue. As a result, he's ordered the prime ministers of Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, the Caymans, Gibraltar, the Turks and Caicos, Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man, Aguila, and Montserrat to London to try to figure out a way to get some transparency on taxes. If you're reading those names out loud at the IRS, perhaps you would recognize them as potential tax evasion districts. Who knows? Meanwhile, insurers are going through their books at Lloyd's. Alex Rodriguez, the Yankees baseball player, who is the most highly paid player in baseball, who is still owed $104 million on his contract by the Yankees, looks to be in line to receive a 100-game suspension. It's a question of whether or not the Yankees will have to pay for his salary during that time off, or whether the insurance companies will pick the bill up. And furthermore, the Yankees are looking through Rodriguez's contract right now to see if they can invoke the morals clause to in fact void the entire contract and avoid paying him entirely. More will be revealed in the next few days. That is the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.